Hello, Jeff Exline in the Digital Content Center. Happy Thursday to everyone. Maybe some sleepy-eyed folks out there from the tornado warnings that went off at around 3:45, 3:47 in the morning for Belmont, portions of Belmont, Monroe, or Belmont, Ohio, and northern Marshall counties earlier this morning. So thankfully, there was some rotation indicating on the radar, but that there was really no tornado that touched down. The National Weather Service is not planning on doing any surveys in the area. We've only had some minor tree damage down. Trees were down in some areas, but any damage so far that we've seen has been minimal. Of course, if a tree comes down on your property, you may not think that's the case, but nonetheless, there hasn't been widespread damage because of the thunderstorms. The Ohio County Airport did register a peak wind gust of 64 miles per hour around 4 o'clock in the morning as those storms rolled through, but no tornadoes as we know of right now. But it's kind of interesting when it comes to like the technology is there to see inside these storms with the radar, and they detect rotation sometimes, and the meteorologist, the weather service has to decide whether or not to issue a warning based on what they're seeing on the radar scan. So a lot of times that rotation is aloft, and it's not, at the surface. It could be a rotating cloud. And that was what we had a lot of last night. Nothing actually touching down to the surface, because as the radar beam goes up in the sky, it's looking more up. The further it is from the Pittsburgh site, it's looking further and further up into the sky. So it's getting more of that rotation higher up than it is at the surface. So a lot of those were basically, false tornado indicators or whatever reports. So, but I'm just sort of giving you a behind the scenes of why there were warnings triggered and why they went off, in the middle of the night on your phone. So tornado warnings will trigger an alert on your phone. So that's why you were, awakened by that. Of course, there were a lot of power outages in areas. We had some school delays as well this morning, but thankfully nothing too severe. Our severe weather threat is over. We had the hail yesterday, talked about that. And I did think that line would weaken overnight into the morning hours, and it did. And it is going to be showery into the weekend, warm today and Saturday, cooler Friday and Sunday. Our temperature is going to bounce around all over the place. Debbie wants to know about river flooding. We're not too concerned about river flooding right now, Debbie. Get to look at some of the new hydrology information from the National Weather Service. But let's see if it came in yet even. But we're not too concerned. The heaviest rain, I mentioned this yesterday, is going to be falling to maybe I can pull that up for you guys. For those of you guys that weren't on here, the heaviest rain will be falling well to our southwest, and we're really not too concerned. We get 2-3 inches of rain total, maybe as much as 4, spread out over 4 or 5 days. I don't think it's going to cause too many problems. If it all came at once, of course, you'd be a little bit more concerned. But it is spread out over, a longer duration of time. So let me see if I could pull this graphic. Now, this graphic was made yesterday, maybe a little dated by now, but it does include some of yesterday's or last night's rainfall. And I could pull this full so you guys could see this a little better. So here, you may hear about this, and a lot of people may be concerned because you're listening to the Today Show or whatever. A lot of people are calling this once in a generation flooding for the Ohio Valley. Now, here's the thing. Now, yes, and I know we reside in the Ohio Valley, but this is also the Ohio Valley. So see this area circled? This is the lower Ohio Valley, where the Ohio Valley meets the Mississippi in Cairo, Illinois. So it starts the Ohio Valley at the Ohio River in Pittsburgh at the point, and it continues all the way here and all the way down to Cairo, Illinois, where it meets the mighty Mississippi River and then flows down. But it's this area here where the heaviest rain. This is where they're talking about when you're hearing about the lower Ohio. they basically say Ohio Valley, but they're talking about the Ohio lower Ohio Valley. This is where 6 to 9 inches of rain is falling through the weekend. Now, for us, 2 to 3, maybe as much as 4, but probably closer to 2-3 inches of rain total over a 4 to 5 day stretch. Now, the rivers will be coming up, but it doesn't look like there is any threat of flooding. Again, I'll keep an eye on. I was trying to find the latest hydrology report from the National Weather Service, but it may not be in quite yet. I'm trying to sift through all these other reports, damage reports that we had from last night and yesterday. But as of right now, I don't see that report. Let me see if I could just call it up here on my phone for Debbie and anyone wanting to know. But at last check, at least, that it was not going to be an issue when it came to flooding. We'll keep an eye on that, of course, over the weekend. But as of right now, it doesn't look like that's going to be too much of a concern here. There are some flood watches. We'll show you that in a little bit. But again, for those of you that are hearing like doomsday predictions of flooding, it's in this area here. Okay, not so much up here. I think we're going to be okay in our area. And also keep in mind the Ohio River. Where does it form? In Pittsburgh, from the Allegheny and the Monongahela River Basin. If we were to see heavy rain here in the Mon and the Allegheny, yeah, the Ohio would flood. But where is the heavy rain occurring? Cincinnati, westward and southwestward. So, this doesn't flow into the Ohio River here. It's all going down into the Mississippi. So we should be okay if we just get 2 to 3 inches of rain as advertised here. So just want to fill you in on that. If things change, of course, we will keep you updated. The weather is one thing that is going to be changing. You look at the temperatures, upper 60s, near 70 degrees here now, and it's a warm day today. The temperatures are going to be bouncing around all over the place over the next few days, up around 70 degrees today. And tomorrow we're going to be in the 50s, and then in the 70s Saturday, and then the 50s Sunday. So look at that. Here's what I'm talking about, the next 5 days. And that what's not included in there is Tuesday, because Monday night into Tuesday, a system will come through the Great Lakes and it will likely drop snow showers Monday night into Tuesday morning. And I'll show you that in a little bit as well. And Tuesday, we may not get out of the 30s. So kind of a crazy bounce around. When you see temperatures like that, you're typically going to get some weather. When you see temperatures go from 70 to a high of 58 to 74 to a high of 52, then a high of 39 on Tuesday, there is going to be some weather because it's just constantly going back and forth. And we had some weather. This is a look at the storm reports over the last 24 hours. Now, some of this does include the first round of storms that occurred yesterday afternoon. Talked about that yesterday. If you were watching this, Facebook Live or YouTube Live, was talking about how there would be the threat for hail and there would be loud thunder. And boy, we did see a lot of hail, a lot of nickel and quarter-sized hail in a lot of these areas that you see the hail. There were some. Now, this second round produced more in way of some wind damage, and you can see where that wind damage occurred. Some of that was near Bellsville here. Some trees were uprooted last night. St. Clairsville, there were some trees down. There was that 64 mile per hour wind gust at Ohio County Airport around 4 o'clock in the morning. There were some reports of trees down Old Washington. So there were some trees down, but again, nothing extensive. And as I mentioned earlier, the National Weather Service will not be conducting any storm surveys because they do not feel as if any tornadoes touched down. Look at the radar right now, pretty quiet. It's mostly cloudy, but it's dry for the time being, for the most part, except southern Wetzel, Tyler counties. And as I mentioned this morning, I did expect much of the day today to be rain-free until we get to the evening hours and after dinner time. So you can see that on our Futurecast. There's 3 o'clock this afternoon. Some southern areas could see a couple light showers, nothing heavy there. But then as we work our way into dinner time and thereafter into the evening, that's when the rain will return more so. And there will be rain, maybe some thunder tonight, but I don't anticipate a repeat of what happened with those 2 rounds of storms yesterday afternoon. And then we had overnight the activity. I don't expect any wake-up calls overnight tonight into tomorrow morning on your phones. Could be some thunder, generally just a rainy night tonight, and the rain could be a little bit heavy at times. Now, notice Friday, there's not going to be a ton of rain falling, and what rain does fall is going to be light. So if you're headed to the Pirates home opener Friday, I think you'll be able to they'll be able to get that game in. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s later in the afternoon on Friday. So a cooler day tomorrow. And then see what's happening. This front, which is going back and forth, cool air comes down Friday, and then it returns north as a warm front. So the warm air will come back. And as that occurs, we could see some storms late Friday night into Saturday morning. So maybe Mother Nature giving you an alarm clock. It doesn't look too strong there with that activity, though, later Friday night, Saturday morning. But there can be some thunder around. And as we head through the day Saturday, there'll be some breaks in which you can go outside, enjoy temperatures in the 70s. And then other times there's going to be some rain as well. So that's what we're looking at. Now, here's a look at futurecast rainfall amounts. This is through Saturday. So amounts around 1 to 2 inches, I think, will be pretty common. If we go back to this, so this will be tonight's rainfall. About a half an inch to an inch or so of rain is expected tonight into Friday morning, and then we'll add to that a little bit as we head into late Friday night and during the day Saturday with the on and off nature of the rain. Flood watches are still in effect for those counties highlighted. It's kind of an odd configuration. It's splitting our area in half almost from west to east. But again, we're not too concerned about river flooding right now. We'll keep an eye on the rising rivers. The rivers will rise into early next week. We'll keep an eye on streams and creeks into the weekend as well. But if we get that, spread out over several days, I don't think there's going to be too many problems around here. Okay, for those of you who want to know about snow, here we go. Winter snow coming back into early next week. See that area of snow across Michigan? Watch it dive southward Monday night into Tuesday morning. Snow showers will be around during that time frame. So it's going to be getting a lot colder at times early next week. So there's a look at your 9+1 day forecast. And again, occasional showers today, but a lot of the days dry. The rain will pick up later on today. And we'll see rain tonight. Rain is likely tonight. Could be some thunder, but nothing too strong. Low of 50 tonight and only getting up to 58 Friday. Could be some morning thunderstorms Saturday. Scattered showers throughout the day, high 74. More rain Sunday at times, high of 52. Again, total over that 4-day stretch is 2 to 3 inches, I think most. And then it's chilly but dry Monday for a change. And then we'll see the snow showers Monday night into Tuesday morning, high of 39 Tuesday morning. Low temperatures will drop down to the 20s early next week. Tuesday morning, upper 20s. Come Wednesday morning, possibly mid 20s. And next week doesn't look all that warm. We're going to see high temperatures outside of Tuesday in the upper 30s. We're going to see highs in the 40s and 50s, I think, next week. So, an average high this time of year is 58 degrees. That's a 30-year average. But, it is going to likely stay below that next week. And you see that on the long range forecast from the Climate Prediction Center that 6 to 10 day, once this loads here for me, is going to be cold. We're still below normal in the 8 to 14 day. And then we should start to climb out of it a little bit. Now, the one good news is after this soggy stretch of weather into the weekend, we will dry out. When you introduce colder air, that is also drier air. So it looks like it's going to be drier as well as we head into next week. Colder and drier, I think, sums up next week, although there will be some snow showers Monday night into Tuesday morning, as I mentioned. So again, there's a look at the radar. If you're just tuning in, the severe weather threat from last night is over. Renee was saying Renee was in her basement around 4 a.m. for the tornado warning. But again, there was no real tornadoes. There was some rotation in the storms, and that's why they decided to issue it. Looking back at it, I was saying yesterday, I really thought that line would weaken as it moved through that second round. I thought we'd get the hail. And I still think that it pretty much did weaken as it moved through because it was a lot stronger out west. And it was weakening as it moved into our area. Let's see. Twig Hoffman says Easter snow. I don't know if it'll be Easter snow because Easter is later on in the month, but the Monday night and the Tuesday, if Easter was then, but that's not the date of Easter. Monday night and the Tuesday, we have a little bit of snow coming our way. What I wanted to show you here too, in regards to the next couple of days, when it comes to your severe weather threats, let's take a look at where are we here? Okay, so this is your severe weather threat for today. So pretty low. It's going to be higher to our south. I'll expand the view so you can see where the severe weather across the country is going to be today. So it's going to be generally to our south. So the cold front's coming through, but we are going to see some rain tonight, but I don't anticipate any severe thunderstorms. Now, as we head into tomorrow, that stays to our south and west. The severe weather threat, no real threat of severe weather tomorrow. And as I mentioned, not a whole lot of rain falling during the day. And the Pirates home opener, you should get it in. Now, Saturday, it does nose into us a little bit of a marginal risk. And I think there could be a few strong, if we're going to see another strong storm somewhere, it might come on Saturday. But optimistic we won't see nothing too bad there on Saturday. Of course, a lot depends on, it stays overcast or the sun comes out. We'll work that. As we get closer to Saturday, we'll have to figure that out. But the bottom line is we'll see periods of rain on and off next several days. Not going to rain all the time. But we will see 2 to 3 inches of rain. Not too concerned locally of flooding, but definitely keeping an eye on things. Can't let our guard down totally. And there's a look at your 9+1 day forecast. So the temperatures bounce around from 70 today to 50s tomorrow to 70s Saturday. Could be a morning thunderstorm and maybe even later in the day as well with daytime heating on Saturday. More rain Sunday, turns much colder into Sunday with a high of 52. Dry Monday, but then Monday night into Tuesday is where the snowflakes will likely be flying. So, and it stays kind of chilly next week. Of course, Easter is later on there in April, not quite next week, but when is Easter? On the 20th this year? Keep on forgetting. Yeah, it is April the 20th. So next week is April 6th through the 12th. So yeah, probably not an Easter snow this year, but we'll get some. So we typically, it's very rare to see in April without snow. And when it does snow in April, we tend to react like it's the first time it's ever snowed in April. But to me, it's more rare when we do not see any snow in April, because you look at climatology, you look at through the record books, most of the Aprils do feature snow. So it looks like we'll get a little bit there. Okay, that's all I have for you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully no more tornado warnings tonight. I don't think that's going to be the case, but it's going to be raining tonight. So if you have any plans this afternoon, a lot of the afternoon is dry as we head towards this evening, late day, more so into the evening hours. And tonight, that's when our rain chances will start to pick up. And tomorrow is mainly dry during the day outside of a light shower around a cooler day with temperatures in the 50s. The rain chance will pick up late Friday night into Saturday morning. And there could be some thunder waking you up there Saturday morning. And we'll deal with occasional showers over the weekend as it turns colder Sunday. Rain showers will change to snow showers by Monday night into Tuesday. Weather's active. Love this time of year. It always keeps you on your toes, right? Just to know how to dress. Okay, everyone. I'll see you on News 9 midday. We'll have more of the news of the day as well. And I'm going to look at some new weather information and share that with you on News 9 midday. Okay, have a great day, everyone.